I'm still trying to think of like the perfect introduction for my videos, but till then, we're probably just going to stick with. Hi, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we will be talking about Boulder by Eva Baltasar. This book follows the story of a woman who, in the pursuit of freedom, she decides to be a nomad chef. So basically, she drops everything behind and decides to travel on sea and, be a chef for people who work on sea. At one of her jobs, she meets Samsa, who she immediately falls in love with, and she decides to leave her dream of being free and just working as a normal chef and decides to build a life with Samsa. Years later, Samsa tells Boda. Boda is actually not the name of the protagonist, by the way. It's just a name given to the protagonist by the woman who she's in love with, Samsa, because of her rigid nature and how, she doesn't really have a place that she wants to stay. She just wants to like move around like a boulder. Boulder decides to move in with Samsa, and then years later, Samsa tells Boulder that she would like to have kids. Now, this is obviously a huge problem for Boulder because Boulder does not want to have kids. The reason why she decided to be a normal chef in the first place was because she wanted to have so much freedom in her life, and this was obviously a problem, and this is where I guess their issues started. However, Boda reluctantly agrees, and then she's like, sure, why not, maybe she should actually give it a shot. And this is very conflicting for Boda because it's kind of a situation where you have to choose between freedom or love. I haven't really read any queer books about women before, and this was a pretty good read. I liked this book because I usually like it when authors do not mention the name of their main characters. And I've noticed that the authors that usually do this are the ones that have a poetic way of writing. It kind of makes you realize that you can still connect with a character even though you do not know their name. You're a lot more focused on knowing about the traits of that character and how they are portrayed in whatever book that you're reading. I also really like that the book is pretty short because I generally could not imagine the book being longer because it's pretty straightforward. Do you want to choose between freedom or love? That's literally the entire thing. I mean, obviously, that's not the whole thing, but like that's the premise of the book. Basically, there are other things that happens in the book. I also really liked this book because the writing was really good. I absolutely liked the writing. And that's why I wasn't really surprised when I found out that the author is a poet. However, one of the things that I did not like about this book was that the author's writing or the author's level of writing did not match up to the book itself. I feel like the protagonist felt really flat to me. There was no complexity to her. She was just really, really plain. And that's okay. But I just feel like it's not okay if you're already writing in a really complex way and using so many metaphors, and then your character just feels flat. I did not really enjoy that. I wish that the character had like a lot more complexity to her. Although I really did like that the character was not 100% likable. I usually like that too because in books like this where it's usually just like two characters, most of the time you have to choose between who was right, who was wrong. But I really did like that when I was done with this book. I really could not choose between who was right or who was wrong because I'm like, okay, I understand that this person did this, but it does make sense. I was looking through a couple of like reviews on Reddit, and I'm like, damn, maybe I'm actually a bad person. Cause, but I like that the way this book is written, it's very hard for you to choose sides, and it really makes you question your morality, and that's very nice. I really like that. But yeah, all in all, I would absolutely recommend this book if you are looking for a very short book. But overall, I'll give it like a 3/5. It was a pretty short book. It was very straight to the point. 3/5 because the character did not just match up to how good the author's writing was. And I just wish that wasn't the case. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think about the book. Let me know if you were in a situation like that where you don't want to have kids and your partner wants to have kids. Let me know if you would decide to walk away, or you would just try to manage and have kids with your partner, even though that's not what you want to do. So, yeah, let me know if you would be choosing between freedom or love.